Good evening. Jeff Nelson. I grew up in Northern California, mostly Weaverville, and loved flying, so forth. This is the only part of the uniform that still fits. I retired in 2000 from, I guess it's the largest airline in the world now. My airline and US Air joined. The last 9 years I was an instructor. The last 7 I was the lead instructor at the Flight Academy, largest flight academy in the world outside of the military. So my part of this, when I was first introduced this, I just thought, no way, I don't believe in that, that's impossible. But it did start me looking up. And I started noticing that what was happening in the air was not a natural phenomenon of jet exhaust. You could see some normal jet exhaust. You can still see those. In fact, the pictures up here show some, you see little short ones go by, and then you see these huge, big, long ones. Those long ones are not a natural phenomenon of that jet engine. Basically, it's a hydrocarbon fuel. It comes out the back. It's really hot, and it's got some elements in there. It's CO2, a little bit of vapor and soot, and it's extremely up there in high altitudes, minus 40 degrees, and it comes out the back of the engine, and that moisture turns to ice crystals, and you'll see that white line behind the aircraft, and it dissipates relatively short because that ice sublimate back into gas, which becomes air, and it goes away. But when you see these lines that go from horizon to horizon and they stay all day long and spreading, that's not natural. So I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know who's doing it. All I know is what happens with a jet engine in high altitude, and that's what I can testify to.
I want to thank everyone for being here tonight because these issues are incredibly important to all of us. I was a weather observer in the US Air Force, and not too long ago a person handed me a video, and it was called Chemtrails over Marin. Well, I had no idea what a chemtrail was. I did know where Marin was because I was going in and out of Marin County a lot in those days. Marin, Sonoma Lake, Napa. I worked in the North Bay a long time. And when I looked at the video, well, they said, because you were a weatherman, can you give me some advice on what you think these aircraft trails are? Well, it didn't take me very long into there to go, my God, I have not been paying attention. Like so many people, I have not been paying attention. It's obvious, they're spraying, but what are they spraying? And how high are they flying? And what is it? You know, I found out it was about 35,000, 40,000 feet. I took flights across the country, went to New York, went to Chicago. But anyway, I'm seeing this layer at 35,000 and 40,000 feet and going, how is that possible? In order for a particulate to stay in the sky that long, it has to be nano size. It has to be really small. I realized that it was a weather modification program, and the biologist in me went, wait a minute. If you start modifying the weather, you're changing your precipitation areas, you're changing the times, you're going to be affecting every species that now is using that water. And if you take the water from one place, somebody else isn't going to get it. Okay? So what we're ending up seeing now is we've got floods right next to droughts. It's a serious situation. You can change your ground microbes, you can change the plants, the timing of the plants and the animals. You can change the whole thing. And I started looking at all the dead trees. I thought maybe it was just sun and high UV. Well, that was part of it. But also, the tests started coming back where we've got literally tons of aluminum. The aluminum that we were finding, I started testing lichens because they only get their stuff from the air. And the lichens basically, the test in Calistoga came out 40,000 micrograms per milliliter, which is huge. There should be 0. And the same thing happened for Middletown.
Thank you for inviting me to be here. My name is Dr. Steve Davis. I'm a practicing chiropractor and a traditional naturopath, and I've been at this for over 40 years. We have an epidemic of DNA damage. Every time you go to a doctor with a complexing myriad of symptoms and they run a battery of tests and they tell you they don't know what's wrong with you, it fits into a category of your DNA has been damaged somehow and you may never get well. I have been on this quest for over 40 years. I left conventional medicine. I was a physician assistant in the United States Army during the tail end of Vietnam. And when I saw the drama that was going on in Vietnam, and I saw the issues that were happening with our healthcare, I left conventional medicine, went looking for natural medicine to cure those that were in these terrible states. In the DNA damage, you can look up on any Google site and you'll see radiation, chemicals, minerals, toxic elements, or the cause. We live in a sea of ongoing toxic soup, and we all are affected. It is a frog experiment gone bad. Dane just shared what would happen if geoengineering continues to go, and if we continue to have radiation from Fukushima, if we continue to immunize everybody for every scourge, if we continue to modify our food, GMO, if we continue to take conventional and non-conventional medications, it may come quicker.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Chappelle. I am a Shasta County Board Supervisor. I'm probably, thank you. I guess I'm in fairly minority here tonight, and I'm not an expert. I don't know really a lot about this geoengineering. I came here for support. I do believe we have something wrong, okay? Something's going on. A few months ago, we did write a letter, and it was at the request of Dane Wigington and part of his committee, or whatever he wants to call it, that came up to our board meeting. We addressed a letter to Ted Gaines, Brian Dolly, Barbara Boxer, Diane Feinstein, Doug LaMoffa, John Belishki, Matthew Rodriguez, Gina McCarthy, and Mary Nichols. And basically said that on July 15th, the Shasta Board of Supervisors heard a testimony from citizens regarding geoengineering chemtrails. Enclosed is a copy of a DVD of the meeting. That was Dane's DVD. For your information, our office is requesting a timely response to the concerns that were voiced by the individuals that provided the input. If you got any questions, please contact me. Larry Lees, and this was actually signed by Les Baugh. We haven't got any response from this yet, and quite frankly, I don't think we will. We've talked about the EPA, we've talked about the California EPA. They're not very honest these days, okay? And I could say, they're somewhat corrupt. I did get some email in my office that they thought I was a Looney Tune for coming here, you know, and they won't vote for me again or whatever, so that kind of happened. But I did get a letter the other day, which was oddly enough, was the date October the 9th, and it was, we received it in our board office October the 20th, and this is basically addressed to the supervisor, and it says, "Dear supervisors, Pacific Gas and Electric Company, located at 77 Beale Street, San Francisco, California, 94105, will continue a weather resources management project, cloud seeding, during the 2014-2015 winter in the Lake Amador, Butte Valley Reservoir, Mountain Meadows Reservoir watersheds. Cloud seeding is the objective of increasing useful participation that will resume after November the 1st, 2014. PG&E staff will monitor the weather conditions forecast and lake levels and make the decisions to seed accordingly." That's proof. I mean, there's nothing there that's that you can say is contradictory or it's not there. You know, one of the problems that occurs when you try to get something done, a lot of people will come to me and they'll say, "Can't you do this? Can't you do that?" No, I can't. I really can't. Very limited on our power. It's kind of a frustrating experience. When I ran, I said, we together can make a difference. And that's actually what I meant. And what happens is that nobody wants to project a bad image. One, for a politician, it's voting, how many people you're going to lose or not. If I said tonight you guys are all nuts, none of you would vote for me, right? So, I mean, that would be, or if I said I'm a Chevy avid fan, the Ford people wouldn't vote for me. So people that are politicians, they walk this fine line, and they really got to get off of it. I mean, they really do. They've got to get more to where they're actually working for the people. And another thing that happens is money. We take our money, our tax dollars that we work hard for, we give it to the government. The government turns around, and instead of helping us in their ways, they hinder us, and they put these programs out that we don't like. What happens is that if we do push back, they cut our funding back. They say, nope, you know, you may not get this funding, you may not get this, you may not get the federal funding for a project. So they're using our own resources against us.
I'd first like to acknowledge all the young people who've come this evening.